Hey there, it's Gary Parrish. Welcome back to the CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball Podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, leaky black. Matt Norlander is here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button like you're Brandon Davies. You have consent. If you haven't yet subscribed to CBS Sports College Basketball YouTube channel, also do that while you're here. Let's get into it. Today we are continuing our Summer Shootaround series. We've already done the predetermined 20, so now we're turning our attention to the bonus episodes that were one with bids designed to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. We'll actually have two bonus episodes, this one today and then another one next week. This one today, it's on Oklahoma. OU went 15-17 last season, finished 5-13 in the Big 12, but was still a top 55 team at KenPom. So not bad. Not bad.
You've got him 23rd in your top 25-1. We'll see what I think about that. No.
Hey, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. All right? Calm down. Still top 55 KenPom team. Hey, somebody paid for this. Calm down. All right? Calm down. Not bad, just not very good in a league as tough as the Big 12. Top three scores from that team are gone. So I do not have Oklahoma in the preseason top 25-1. For what it's worth, though, the Sooners are 68th in the preseason at BartTorvik.com. We'll see what Norlander thinks about that next. But first, a word from our partners.
And how about this? Get ready for non-stop action that will have you say, "You gotta be kidding!" Oh my, Canada! Mr. K-Sticks, what a play and what a finish! That's some pretty good football, eh? He's gone all the way to the house. It's the Canadian Football League next Sunday on CBS Sports Network.
All right, Deadleg. BartTorvik.com is currently projecting Oklahoma as the 68th best team in the country or the 13th best team in the Big 12. In other words, Torvik has OU finishing next to last in the Big 12, ahead of only UCF. That's Central Florida. Deadleg, is that dead on? Or is that dead wrong?
Dead wrong. Gotta be, right? Gotta be dead wrong. Shouts to Reed, by the way. Reed was the winner. He sent along his a genuine surprise, I think, that he won this bid. He said, Boomer Sooner, and shouts to Woodward, Oklahoma. Reed, thank you for helping raise money to St. Jude. We appreciate that, and I'm more than willing and happy to talk about your Sooners here. I got a trivia time right off the top. Before we get to the outlook on Sooners, trivia time. You ready?
Yep.
How many Final Fours in Oklahoma men's basketball history, Gary Parrish?
Lon got one.
That he did.
Billy get one?
He did.
Kelvin got one.
That's Billy Tubbs for the young ones out there. Kelvin did get one.
That's three. I'm going to say there's four.
There are five. Oklahoma was in the first Final Four ever in 39. Took a trip back in 47. Then went 88 under Tubbs. 02
39 and 40. So I didn't know about the 39 and the 47.
Someone didn't take the auction episode seriously right now, clearly.
Oh, wait till you hear my breakdown of Milos Uzan. Don't tell me I didn't take this seriously.
Well, I think it's Uzan, but so we'll see how seriously you took it. True or false? Oklahoma has a winning record against every Big 12 school except Kansas.
False.
True. The Sooners are above 500 against every other Big 12 university except Kansas, who has like a 100-game lead in the all-time series there. 5 jerseys in the rafters. Trivia time. What's the name of Oklahoma's home arena?
Lloyd Noble.
There we go. The great Lloyd Noble. Did not do my research on Lloyd Noble. I presume Paris did. We'll get back to that shortly. The 5 jerseys in the rafters. Mookie Blaylock.
Yep.
Wayman Tisdale.
Yep.
Alvin Adams.
Oh, yeah, Alvin Adams. Hey, I called him Double A.
Former Bulls great Stacey King.
Yep.
And, of course, Blake Griffin. Last one. Oklahoma.
Where's Buddy Hield?
He's not there.
That's ridiculous.
I agree. Let's get it done. Maybe this episode.
Where's Milos Uzan?
Uzan. Get it
done. Are you sure? Because I looked all these up.
I just to be sure, I thought it was Uzan. I checked out some previous play-by-play, and I had announcers calling him Uzan. So
wait till we get
to Uzon, if it's Uzon, my apologies.
Wait till we get to Otega Oway.
There we go.
Coming.
Yeah,
that's coming.
You got it. Oklahoma has been all but 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament since seeding began in 79. They have not been a 16, a 15, a 14. Trivia time. What's the only other seed that Oklahoma has not been in its history in men's basketball?
I think they got a 1 seed with Blake.
They have 5 1 seeds in their history.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot.
Yeah. I'm
going to say Oklahoma has never been a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
That's what you're going with?
Yep.
Want to give one more guess?
Uzon.
One more guess.
6 seed. They've never been a 6.
Double that. Oklahoma has never been a 12 seed. Has never been a 12 seed.
Well, there's always next season, you know.
Porter Moser entering year 3. He went 19-16 year 1, then 15-17 last season. Not a hot seat season for Moser, but if Oklahoma doesn't finish above 500 this season, if it's the 13th best team in the Big 12 this season or worse, then he will enter year 4 on the hot seat. Not a projected tournament team, as GP just went over. I'm going to let GP run down the roster. Here are the names to note that are gone. No Grant Sherfield, no Tanner Groves, no Jacob Groves, no Jalen Hill. So those are 4 impact players that combine to average more than 40 points per game. So that is a major reason why that Oklahoma doesn't have a lofty projection heading into this season. It did load up in the portal. And frankly, in a way, probably that Moser, I haven't talked to Porter about this, but I would suspect he didn't anticipate that when he took this job, he would need to have this much of a flip. But for some power conference schools, this is just the deal. Like, it's not just 2 or 3 guys. It's sometimes 5 or 6 guys that you're going to in the portal. And so that will be the case with Oklahoma. And we'll see if this team can be like, a couple of teams we get every year. It'd be a high major, mid major. There are teams that are projected to be last, second to last, third to last in the league standings in October. And then you look up and you're midway through conference season, and well, wouldn't you know, they're in the top half of the league. They have
Kansas State last year.
We are again on the same wavelength. I was about to say, this literally happened a year ago with Kansas State because it had a new coach. You look up and good gracious, Jerome Tang, look what he's done. Porter Moser's not new to the scene, so there's a little bit of a scouting report on him across the league from a coaching perspective, but the roster's all new, and maybe they get an advantage with that. What do people need to know, GP?
Well, just on Porter real quick, because he's been there 2 years. This is year 3. 0 NCAA tournaments so far. It all depends on how you frame it. If I say this, what do you think? Yeah, Porter's been at Oklahoma 2 years. They finished 7th and 9th in the Big 12. You go, it's not great. Maybe understandable, but not great.
Yeah.
Right? What if I say this? Porter Moser's been at OU 2 years. Average KenPom finish, 42. Sounds totally different.
You're doing all right.
That's not bad.
You're treading water. Maybe a little better than that.
19 and 16 in year 1, 15 and 17 in year 2. So 34, 33 overall through 2 years, but only 12 and 24 in the Big 12. I don't think this is like a you better do it or else year. But you don't ever want, at a school like this, you don't ever want to be going into
not
year
with that
4.
AD either. I don't think
you don't want to be going into year 4 looking for your first NCAA tournament appearance, coming off a next to last finish in your league. You don't want to go into year 4 with that. Then you might have some real job pressure. As for the roster, here's the truth. Most of the teams we have talked about over the past 7 weeks are teams where they have enough interesting, meaningful pieces coming back where you can sort of talk about them intelligently and say, like, all right, when these 3 guys were on the court together last season and this is what they did, and there's something to draw from, right? Mm-hmm. The exception to that might be Kentucky because it's like Antonio Reeves and a bunch of new people, right? So, but then even with Kentucky, you can still go, but they got Justin Edwards and they got DJ Wagner and it's 5-star this and 5-star that. And it's you've got things like, we know that 5-star prospects are typically good at that level. I think DJ Wagner is going to be terrific. Justin Edwards might be the number 1 pick in the draft. There's stuff to pull from, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one I noticed where there just really isn't anything to pull from because it's so many just pieces from different places, and they weren't good last year. Because mostly we're not talking about teams that weren't good last year. There's exactly 2 teams in this entire thing so far that we have talked about that weren't good last year.
St. John's.
That's it. Those are the 2, St. John's and Oklahoma.
Yep.
And they're similar in the sense that when you're trying to discuss St. John's right now in August of 2023, I can tell you all the players. I can tell you what they've done at other places. I can't tell you what it's going to look like because we ain't seen it together. I'm not even sure Rick Pitino knows exactly what it's going to look like because he's still working through it. We'll see. I trust it's going to be good because I think they've got talented pieces and one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think it's going to be good. But when I was going through the Oklahoma roster, it felt very similar. I like some of these pieces, but they are largely transfer. Oklahoma will largely be relying on transfers who haven't really won anything. But they're interesting. Now, just to run through some names, there is Milos. I'm going to say Uzan.
Okay.
6'4" second-year player. 7.6 points, 3 assists, 2.7 rebounds in 28 minutes per game last season. He was a top 75 prospect in the class of 2022. And I think is a legitimate NBA prospect at this point.
This is the dude.
He shot 47% from the field, above 40% from 3, 76.5% for the free throw line. His effective field goal percentage is 54.2. So he's a guard with size who can reliably shoot. I won't be surprised if at some point this season he ends up on I think he might end up on mock drafts.
He's going. I'm telling you, he's going in our top 100 players. I think he's a sleeper pick for all Big 12 first team. He might need to be out of necessity. He's a guy. Now, Oklahoma has not been a relevant program the past couple of years, so again, he's not that well known. But I caught him a couple times last season. I think he's a tremendous player and is going to have a breakout season, and everything will stem from what he is able to do from a production standpoint.
Yeah, like I won't be surprised if he's a guy I don't know how many podcasts are being done about him right now, but I won't be as surprised if we're NBA draft podcasts are talking about him in January, February. Yeah. Keep an eye on him. Otega Owe is another second-year player who was a top 100 prospect in the class of 2022. So I mentioned all the transfers. These are 2 guys who came to OU out of high school, played last season, played meaningful minutes last season, and they're both back, and they're both former top 100 prospects. That's a pretty good foundation. Yep. And then you're filling in the gaps largely with transfers. And the one who's most interesting to me is John Hoogley, who's a 4th-year player, 6'10" big, transfer from Pitt. Now, he only played 8 games last season because of injuries, but the year before at Pitt, he averaged 14.8 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 29.6 minutes per game. That was 2 seasons ago. So he's been productive at the high major level. And I went and watched a lot of clips of him from 2 years ago last night. And like he's an aggressive front court player, like gets his work done early, establishes position, wants the ball, calls for the ball. He's a good player. I think he's going to be good. He's not Hunter Dickinson transferring to Kansas, but I think he can be a good player. Based on what I've seen and based on the numbers from 2 years ago, he looked like a legitimate starter level guy for a good team in a power conference. And I think that's what he can be at Oklahoma. Sam Godwin is a 6'10", 4th-year player, just a role player, but he is the second leading returning scorer on the team.
I could be wrong. I think he might start.
No, he might start. Yeah, he might start. He could start in that front court next to Hoogley. Like you could play them together. Yeah. And then they got to transfer. They've got Jalen Moore from Georgia Tech. Started 15 games for the Yellow Jackets last season. Rivaldo Soares is a transfer from Oregon. Played 28 minutes per game last season. I believe started 33 times. So you've got there's a freshman, Caden Cooper, who was, top 70 prospect in the class of 2023. Javian McCollum is a transfer from Siena who averaged 15.9 points, 3.9 assists per game. So he's a quality player and a guy who has shot in his career above 37% from three. So there's a lot of interesting pieces here. This is not a team that would finish next to last in maybe any other league, and they might not in this league.
Yeah.
But that is where they were projected right now, at least by one computer, and that is largely a testament to the strength of the Big 12. But if I had to bet, if you just told me yes or no, OU finishes better than next to last in the Big 12, I would bet yes. I bet they do. I would take yes. They'll be better than that.
They've got one more, Latrey Darthard from Utah Valley.
That's right. Yeah.
14 points a game last season. So Oklahoma is interesting in this regard. Uzan, I think that he is the engine. He makes it go. They have a lot of experience. Now, these guys haven't played together. If it hits, maybe they can find some magic, and maybe they wind up contending for an NCAA tournament bid. But yeah, this is a wait and see. And I'm sure on some level, Moser, who just lost Emmanuel Dildy to Duke, went and took an assistant job. Clayton Custer, who played for Porter and then actually was on the support staff at Oklahoma before he went back to take a job with Loyola Chicago, and then Dilty left, and so an opening happened. Custer just joined, but there's been some change on the staff. It's probably just been more on him than he wanted heading into year 3, but that's the breaks, and here we have it here. I got the schedule if you are ready, GP.
Bring me that schedule. Bring me that
All
Oklahoma
right.
schedule.
All right, so we did, coincidentally enough, our Texas, Oklahoma, they're both leaving for the SEC. Obviously, they are longtime rivals. These are back-to-back episodes here. And we mentioned on the Texas show that the schedule was a little bit just missing one. We thought, maybe they should just trade out one more game with a legit opponent. For what Oklahoma is, I actually think on balance overall, they've got a tougher schedule than Texas this season. So Central Michigan, Mississippi Valley State, Texas State, UTR, GV to start. Okay, those are 4. You just hope that you don't step on a landmine. You start off 4-0. Then they're going to go to the Rady Children's Invitational, which is a new MTE in San Diego. We talked about this on the USC episode. They will start against Iowa, which is, if you start 4-0, you get a game against Iowa on a neutral. If you're Oklahoma and you can win that kind of game, then you start to build some confidence. Then they'll either play Seton Hall or USC, depending on how the bracket breaks there. But there's a chance that Oklahoma could come out of that 6-0, and then they've got really, they've got a nice start going. They're going to play Pine Bluff. Then they get Providence at home. Big East, Big 12 battle, which is a good break for Oklahoma this season. Providence has a new coach, Kim English. We'll see what they are, but that's a good break for them. They will play Arkansas, but that game will be in Tulsa, so nearby, but a viable team, of course. Then they'll play Green Bay. They get Carolina this year in Charlotte in the Jumpman Invitational. UNC, we think they've got a healthy chance of being a top 20 team. Another good piece of competition for the Sooners. And then they'll wrap up with Central Arkansas and Monmouth before, as always, round robin play in the toughest conference in the country. So power conference teams are Iowa, 1 game, then either Seton Hall or USC, that's game 2. Home against Providence is game 3. Arkansas and Tulsa is game 4. And then Carolina out in Charlotte, which is not technically a road game, but it'll probably feel like one given where that is and what UNC is. So all that being said, 5 power conference non-cons, not a single non-conference true road game. I don't know if I'm being too optimistic or not, but I do like Oklahoma's chances to bounce back and play a little bit better this season. I'm setting the over-under at 18.5 wins. What's your record for the Sooners in 23-24?
What I heard is 4 non-league losses.
Oh, which is a deviation from the norm, of course.
I heard 4.
Okay.
When I was listening, I heard 4.
It called to you. I got you.
Yes. And then in the league, God, it's a tough league.
It is. I know.
Like, I think this team's going to be better than it's projected to be.
Can you get them to 8? Can you get them to 8 wins?
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. 8 and 10 in the Big 12. So I got 14 losses before the Big 12 tournament. 31 minus 14 is set. Oh my God.
That's where we're at, buddy. Say it aloud. Say it aloud.
I mean, Reed paid for this.
He paid for an episode. He didn't pay for PR.
Wow. He could pay for PR.
He could.
That probably would have been smarter.
That's the wrong podcast. So.
Which one would you send him to?
Keep it going. 17-14 from Gary Parrish for the Oklahoma Sooners. I got one better than you. I'm gonna go 18. I'm 18-13. I think that I'm gonna say 18-13, and they outperform expectations. Reed or someone with Oklahoma, clip this and save it, because you said Torvik's got him at 68.
That's what he said.
We don't know what Ken Palm's got him at right now. I will say Oklahoma. Let's say at the end of the season, so all postseason included, I'll say Oklahoma is sitting there at. You said I think it was 42. You said at Ken. I'll say 41 at Torvik at the end of the season once the dust has settled. What is your pick for where they wind up in Torvik? You got to have lower than 41 if you have a worse record than me, theoretically.
Okay. Let me do some research here. Let's see where they were last year at the end of the year.
Go ahead, sort that data.
Sort some data real quick. Been doing this for a solid year now.
You're welcome.
Come on, Torvik. A little slow to load sometimes, if we're being honest.
You're really peek into the process here. Come on, Torvik.
Well, come on, Torvik. I mean, a little slow to load sometimes.
You need me to load it?
Nope, it's here. Okay. Let's see where they finished last year. Oklahoma last year at Torvik finished 52nd.
I think we both got them better. They were sub 500 last season.
Oklahoma's going to finish 44th.
Okay, I got 41. You got 44.
I think they will overachieve relative to Torvik's preseason expectations. They will overachieve relative to Torvik's Big 12 preseason expectations, but still will not make the NCAA tournament, but be top 40 at Ken Palm, which suggests that they're right there.
NIT is in the future. That's what I think we both got them there. Heading to the NIT.
Well, I hope they get more than that.
Okay. I know, but based on the prediction. Hey, that's a bonus episode right there.
That's a bonus episode.
Where's my Oklahoma shirt, by the way? Last year, Bellarmine wins it. We're all dressed up here. You're wearing a Mets shirt?
It's actually a New York Giants shirt.
Giants? What are we doing?
I don't even know. I think I don't even know why I have this.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's mine.
I don't know where they come from.
I don't even know if this is mine. I just picked it up this morning.
Okay.
It was just in my closet. I just picked it up.
I presume if it's in your closet, it's yours.
You can't make that assumption.
Okay. Not in your house.
Not in my house.
No.
Anything could be in anybody's closet.
Okay.
Never know around here, you know?
Exactly.
Shouts to Devin Downey. Shouts to Chester, South Carolina. Shouts to Huck Larnell. Thank you guys once again for watching, listening to Eye on College Basketball Podcast. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe anywhere you subscribe to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify. More of us than there are of them. That should be reflected in the comments. Rate it, review it, leave a comment.
Here's the deal.
Make it positive. We thank you for that. We thank you for being here now.
Yes.
And Deadleg wants to thank you or say something.
I'm going to say something real quick, then we'll get out of here.
Say something real quick, then.
For the so if you listen to the shoot around, you knew Oklahoma's coming. But for the next one, I think on my pre-tape, I might have said you were gonna find out, but you're not gonna find out. You're not gonna know. It's gonna be unwrap the gift. You will not. It will not be in the title. It will not be in the description. You will find. And guess what? As we record this episode, we may damn well not know who it is right now. So you will not know what team won the 22nd episode until you download the show, bring it up on YouTube. Maybe maybe GP does the tease before the break, and you don't even find out till after the break on the 22nd episode, and that's going to be coming at some point next week. Till then,
get real wild. You know what we could do? Not even find out, you and I, until we do it. Like it starts. I'm like, hey everybody.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
We can do that. I didn't think there was any chance in hell.
And then I go, Nada, who are we talking about? And he says, today we're doing an episode on Oregon State. And I go, all right, Deadleg, tell us what we need to know.
I didn't think
we just
there was
say
any
Beaver
chance
Fever for like 20 minutes and wrap it up.
No, but okay, how are you responding if the answer is Northern Colorado? You're scrambling. That's the problem. Are you good with it? I'll do it. I will do it in real time.
No, we just make up stuff.
Okay.
Just start saying stuff. Like we'll act like John Hoogley plays for Northern Colorado. Like, who cares?
I would like to at least deliver some verified content.
Yeah, well, then I'm going to need prep time.
Yeah, I do like the idea
Rothstein could probably pull that off.
I like the idea of no prep.
I don't think we could.
How about you prep? I don't. How about you know, but I don't? This is what we do with our second child. My wife knew the gender. I didn't want to know, but she refused to not know, which is, of course, her right. So she did not tell me. And then, the moment came, and lo and behold, we had a second beautiful young boy there. But she knew I did not. I want to do that. I don't. I go in, I don't know.
I would not want to not know because you come off sounding like a dum-dum, but whatever you're comfortable with is
all the prep. Like you'll know the.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll
do the schedule. I'll do the over-under in real time. Let's do that. You will know.
Okay.
I will not know. And what we'll do is I'm going to try. Let's see if I can get it on the next episode. I'll try and get it in 6 guesses. So what I'll do is I'll say, is it a power conference team? Yes or no? If it is, then we can narrow it down. If it's not, we can narrow it down. Have a lot of fun.
You know what we should do? We should make a grid out of it.
We should have. Should we make a grid out of it?
Someone clearly has not let that go.
We should not make a grid out of it.
Maybe make a grid out of it.
All right. I like this idea, though. You will know. I will not. I will try and guess it through a series of questions, and then we'll be off and running. And as you give the rundown, I'll do my research on the fly. If it's a power conference team, I'm going to be in luck. But if it's some team in the Sun Belt or you name it, the Big South, the America East, well, it'll be a journey. I like that we actually hash this out on the podcast as opposed to doing it over
my last baby was the exact opposite of yours in the sense that I wanted to know and my wife kept it from me. She kept it from me. I overheard.
She held it hostage.
She held it hostage because I wanted a daughter. I wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
And she knew that I wanted a daughter. And so I kept asking her, like, when are we going to find out if it's a boy or girl? And she was like, oh, I think that's next week. And with me, you could just keep saying, I think it's next week for like 20 weeks. And I'd just be like, okay. Cause I don't really, once I start doing other things. And so she just keeps putting it off. I'm like, I think that's in 3 weeks. I said, all right, well, I can't wait, but she already knew for like 2 months that it was a boy. And she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want me to be disappointed. But then I heard her on the phone. She's like, yeah, it'll be nice. We'll have 3 boys. And I'm like, what?
That's how you found out?
That's how I found out. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I love my boys, but I did want a daughter.
My wife was good. She did not tell me. She inadvertently maybe tipped the hand once, but she's so tricky sometimes. I was like, is she playing this right now because she knows what she just said and is trying to mess me up? But nevertheless. Yeah, no, there we go. You'll know, I won't.
I'll know.
Round episode.
Deadleg won't. And you and him, you can all find out in real time.
All right.
Oh, it's going to be great. Can't wait. Till then, take care.